The UK government has unveiled a tool it says can accurately detect jihadist content on the internet and block it from being viewed. It can be used across different platforms and integrated into the upload process with the aim of preventing material ever reaching the internet. The Home Secretary Amber Rudd, who's in the US to speak to technology companies, said she hadn't ruled firms to use it by law.
We know that terrorists are always going to try and evade our sort of industry-led standards to stop them. So we have to stay ahead. We have to have the right investment, the right technology. But most of all, we have to have industry on our side. And none of them want their platforms to be the place where terrorists go. With industry on side, acknowledging that, listening to us, engaging with them, we can make sure that we stay ahead of the terrorists and keep people safe.
Well, Bill Buchanan is a professor in the School of Computing at Edinburgh Napier University and was given an OBE last year for services to cyber security. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
So what's your understanding of how this works?
It will work because the cloud, if we think about what we're creating now, we're creating a cloud infrastructure. It's like a very large computing machine. So the days of standalone computers are gone. What we're building is a large cloud, and the cloud understands us much more than we think. So these days we can do things like face recognition. If I feed in a photograph into something like the Microsoft Cognitive Cloud, it can recognize me, even though it's not actually seen that photograph. It's been trained on pictures that it's seen of me on social media. That may worry many people, and there's obviously a privacy issue. But increasingly, the cloud is really understanding our voice, our faces, where we go. We're being tracked all the time. So
this is a sort of artificial intelligence?
This is artificial intelligence where a computer system can mine for text. So it can take someone's speech, say on YouTube, and then mine for the text. It can also look at graffiti on a wall and then mine the text from there.
But it learns, that's the crucial thing.
It learns. It's not quite the sci-fi world that we would think that we could actually just feed it a new location, a photograph of a new building, and it would learn exactly where it was. So there's a bit of learning from standard things. So something like Buckingham Palace or Edinburgh Castle, the cloud would have been fed with those images, and then it would have been located with GPS, so it will generally learn those locations. But we're building a massive machine, and we're probably just at the start of it just now. Obviously, there are issues related to privacy for individuals that we need to understand, and the balance between the rights of society to protect itself against the rights of the individual to privacy. GDPR will force that issue much more.
Just explain GDPR.
GDPR is the new EU directive around citizens having control of their own data.
Right. That may well work in a smaller EU once we've left, but it won't apply to us, presumably, after Brexit, and it won't apply to the bulk of the net, which is not only in the States but in the Far East.
It will apply to the UK because we must make sure that data flows across boundaries. We have many companies which use data on EU citizens, so it's likely that we will comply with that. But generally across the world, there is a movement towards more citizen control to be able to understand what data is actually being used on us. We don't mind in an airport situation if our face is being recognised and we're being tracked, but do you really want to be tracked when you go to work in the morning, when you go to buy your coffee, for machines to be learning your whole activities?
Well, that presumably is what Amber Rudd wants. If she wants the internet giants to use some of this technology in order to stop people replicating and sharing things like jihadist videos. Now, will she have to, is there a sales job for her to do in order to try and get, whatever it is, Google or Facebook to take this up?
The biggest barrier is going to be towards protecting or mining with inside encrypted content. So more and more we're moving towards WhatsApp. So many of us, it's very unusual for someone not to be using WhatsApp these days. WhatsApp is an application which uses encryption, strong encryption. So it's very difficult for someone to be able to mine that content.
So do you think she's on a hiding to nothing, really?
Yes, I think so. There is a move towards using the Tor network, the dark web. A lot of what goes on there is hidden. It's almost impossible to find out the content because the servers are hidden across the world and it's impossible to find them. But more and more, we might be setting up what are called Signal groups. The core of WhatsApp is an application called Signal. Signal is a completely encrypted infrastructure. The encryption keys are not stored.
So it sounds as if she's kind of behind the times. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much. Thanks
you
for joining us this evening. Professor Bill Buchanan of Edinburgh and Napier University.
News Drive on BBC Radio Scotland.